Hey everybody, Heather here. Thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be coloring this super cute Stamping Bella image called Isabelle Loves Her Ice Cream. And I love ice cream, so if I could manage to have that many ice creams on my cone, I probably would, but they'd probably make a huge mess. I'll go ahead and put a link down in the description box to all the supplies I used, so you can head straight to the store and pick one up if you would like. Remember, they are limited, so if you want one, don't wait forever to grab one. Also, when you're there, you might want to check out the clearance section. I'm constantly sticking new stuff in there to make room for other stuff. If you have a question after the video, go ahead and leave me a comment and I will get back to you on that. Don't forget to hit the like button. That would be awesome. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love for you to be a subscriber, and then you will get updates on all my latest videos. So I've already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. So let's start out by outlining our image, and for that I'm going to use B00 today. And let's go ahead and just start right here above her shoe. And I'm just going to go around all of this stuff. And I'm not being really careful around that, all those ruffles, because I'm going to put some stickles on there. So if we get some blue on there, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Just work our way around. Go around all these great ice creams here. And there's a little drip, so I'm going to go around that. And also, let's get this butterfly while we're up here. And then continue back around our ice cream. And this will just give it a little bit of a shadow so that it looks like she's popping off the page a little bit. And plus it makes her look like she's sitting outside enjoying some sunshine on the deck maybe, or in the garden, and give her some blue sky. And around our chair, and out here to the end of her skirt, and just work my way back down to the bottom. And I'm just going to do underneath of this chair too. And I better make sure to get in here a little bit where her legs are, even though we're going to put some grass in there, so that won't matter. And then she's got a little space here between her arm and the chair. I'll just fill that in. And then same for this little wrought iron part for her chair here. Let's go inside this. And I think I'll fill that all the way in. I'm just going to fill that in with some blue, and let's get around this little dot here. Now I'm going to take my colorless blender, and I'm just going to swirl over the edge. And that will soften it a little bit. Work my way around to the other side. And this way too, you don't have to worry about it. If you do it now, you don't have to worry about coloring on her or getting any of the other colors mixed in. I'm going to swirl right over the top of that chair and work my way back down here to her leg. Now I'm going to add some grass down here for her chair to sit on. So I'm going to use G46, 43, and 40. And I just want to give her some little flicks in here. So I'm going to use her grass that's already here as my starting point. And I'm just going to, like making a check mark, I'm just going to add some blades of grass. And I'm not worried that the check marks go onto her chair. I did try to not color her leg. Just willy-nilly put some in there. And I think I'll put a couple right like this. Maybe grass is growing a little bit taller over there. Then I'm going to go with G43, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to go in here, And I'm not doing over the same lines that I used last time. And you could make your grass short, make it long. Totally up to you. And then lastly, I'm going to use G40. And this is the lightest one. And that looks pretty good. I think I'll leave it like that. Next, let's work on her skin, and for that today I'm going to use E21, E00, E000. For her cheeks, I'm going to use R20 and R30. And I'm only going to use the 3 colors for her skin because she's got pretty small arms and legs, and I couldn't really fit in the 4th color, so we're just going to go with this. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my E21, and I'm going to do a little bit here underneath of her skirt, and then I'm going to go down the back of her leg, down to her bottom of her shoe. Same for this side. Let's go underneath of her skirt and then down the back of her leg. So I got a little crazy with my grass there. I colored just a little bit on her leg. Okay, then I'm going to fill it in with E00 because there's not much space left there. And we're going to hop up here and do her arms. So again, I'm going to grab E21, and let's go down the bottom of her arm. She's got the fingers on her ice cream cone, so I'm going to give them a little dab. And then let's do this arm. And then I'm going to go right above this little ruffly stuff she's got on her dress. And let's do a little bit on her neck. And then I'm going to fill that in with my E00. Again, they're really small. Her arms are really small. For her face, I'm going to start with my E21. Let's go right along her hair here. She's got a little bit of her ear poking out, so I'm going to grab that a little bit. And let's do underneath of her bangs, just a tiny dab. And I'm going to grab E00. I'm going to fill in her ear. And then we're going to brush this color out away from her, from that line. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E000. And then for her cheeks, I'm going to use R20. I'm just going to give her a little circle here, like this, like that. And then I'm going to take R30, and I'm just going to go over the edges. And then I want to add more color to her face, so I'm going to grab E21. E00. And then E000 to fill that little spot in. And if you think your cheeks have lightened up too much, go ahead and just go over those again. Let's hop up here and do her hair next. See if I can zoom in a little bit more there. And for that, we're going to use E49, E47, E23, and Y00. So I'm going to start with my E49. I'm going to give this, and this is very dark, so I'm just going to use a little bit like that. And then for her part, I'm going to add a little bit on that. Like that. Then I'm going to grab E57. A little bit more up here, and then I want to bring some of that color from the bottom. And I try to keep my pen going in the direction that her hair is growing. And then right here she's got a little piece that looks like it kind of tucks behind, so I'm going to add a little bit of color right here. Next is E23. I'm going to color these little curly cues in right there. And then I'm going to go over the whole thing with Y00. And then I like to go back with my darkest color, which was E49, and just add a few little strands in there. And I think I'll just add a little bit more of the E57 too. I like the yellow color in there, but I don't want it to be quite so obvious. So we're going to add a little bit more brown on here. Next, let's work on this, the top of her dress here. And for that, we're going to use E49, E47, E44, E43, and E42. And I'm going to start with my E49. And I want to go down the back of her dress. And I didn't worry about those dots. I colored right over the top of them. And then I also want to give her a bosom. So I'm going to take my pen and I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of a crease like that. Next I'm going to go with E47. And just adding a little bit of this. And again, I'll add a little bit over here. That. And next we have E44. And I'm going to add a little bit on that side this time. And then E43. And I'm going to come down the entire front of that side. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E42. And then for the dots, I used my E49 to just give them a little dab of color. You can also make them white. Use your Sharpie white paint pen to add some dots in there to make them white, or your Uniball pen if you have that. For the skirt, we are going to use E43, E42, and E41 along with our Colors of Splendor. And then she's got a little ruffle here on the bottom that I'm going to add some E44 to. So I'm going to start with my E43. And I want to give this skirt to make, well, let's start with E44 first and just draw a ruffle here on the bottom. So I kind of went, I didn't worry about these little curly cues up here. I went with right next to this second layer of curlies. And there's actually some little lines, like right here's a little line. I tried to go underneath of that, but I just gave it a little bit of a line all the way across to kind of separate those bows or those ruffles. Oops. It's hard to go draw. Keep it going in the one where I want it to go here with not moving all over the place. Okay, so like that, I gave her like a little ribbon there. And next for the skirt, let's start with E43, and I want to give her some pleats. So I'm going to go, kind of dips down right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go like this. and give it a little line. Same for right here's a little dip. I'm just going to give that a little line, and then I'm going to move over here, and here's another dip, like that. And then same thing for this side, here's a little dip, and it dips down right here. That's a good start. Now I'm going to go with E42. And we're going to add some color on the sides of the dips. And I'm going to go over it twice, so I'm not worried that it isn't going the way I want right away. Just add some color. And soften that color there in the middle. Okay, that looks pretty good so far. Now I'm going to go with E41. And just working my way back along that line. And leaving some white, because I'm going to go over it a second time. Okay, now go back to your E43. And let's darken that up a little bit more. And then again with your E42. And I think I'll make the stripes just a little bit whiter than I did the last time. And bring the lines up here closer to her bodice. And I think I'll make this side just a little bit wider. Okay, next we're going to go with E41, and I'm going to fill in the whole thing. Back down this way and brush over this section. Okay, let me turn it just a little bit more here. And I'll go over these lines a little bit more. Blend those together a little bit more. Okay, I like that. So now I'm going to take my colorless blender because I want to add a little bit of shading in there, some white spots. So I'm just going to take my colorless blender and I'm going to go along this edge. And the same for this side. I'm going to go along this edge. And then for each one of these little bumps, like right here where it bumps up, I'm going to take my pen and just kind of give it a little bit of a squiggle there. Same for this one. And lastly, this one. And you let it dry a little bit, and then if you want to make them a little bit brighter, go ahead and just go over them a second time. Now, for the ruffle on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and use E41, and up here on her bodice, she's got a little bit of ruffles, and just color those in. And I'm not worried if there's some white space, because again, I'm going to put my, stickles on it, and it will cover some of that up. While we have the browns out, let's hop down here and do her shoes. For that, we use E49 and E41. So I'm going to take my E41 first, and I'm just going to color her entire shoe in. And the bows. She's got a couple of little small bows there. And then I'm going to take my E49 to, again, dot these little dots that she's got on her shoe. let's move up here to these cute ice creams, and I'm going to start with the tan colored ice creams. So for that we're going to use E84, E81, and E50. I'm going to grab my E84 first. Let's just start up here at the top. And I'm just going to go like that. And then I'm going to skip one. And this one I'm going to go underneath the other ice cream along the bottom. Again, skip one of the ice cream, skip one ice cream. Go down this one, down the side, and along the curve, and then skip this one, and down like that. And then I'm going to go with E81, and we want to soften that edge, so I'm just going to brush right over the top of it. And then I'm going to go over the whole thing with my E50. And then later I went back with my, when I was all done, and I put some stickles on my ice cream so they're all shiny and sparkly. Even though ice cream's not shiny and sparkly. For the alternate ice creams, we're going to use RV 29, 25, 23, and 21. I'm going to start with my RV 29. Let's add some color underneath this ice cream. And this one's kind of falling this way, so let's put some on this side. And then this one looks like it's kind of coming back this way. And then this one, we're going to do this side and underneath of this. Next we're going to grab RV 25. And just add some more color. And then RV 23. And I'm filling in the tops here and just giving the underneath that bottom line just a little swirl. And then I'm going to go with RV 21 to fill in this bottom section. And I'm actually going to go right over the top of the entire ice cream, just kind of swirl those colors together a little bit more. For the butterfly, since we have RV21 out, let's go ahead and just go up here and color him. And I did the outside, I left the center white, but I did the outside of his wings with the RV21. For the ice cream cone, we're going to use E18 and E13. I'm going to start with my E18, and I'm going to, there's no lines on it, but I'm going to make it a waffle cone and give it a couple of little dashes there. Like that. And then I'm just going to go over the whole thing with my E13. That leaves us down here with this chair cushion, and for the first stripes I'm going to use RV 23 and 21, and I'm just going to start with one, so I'm going to make it easy and pick this edge over here. And just do the top of each little stripe a little dab of color. And just work my way across. And then I'm going to grab RV21 and just fill the rest of the section in. And since I have this color out, I'm going to go up here and miss these little drops for the ice cream, and I'm just going to fill those in with my RV21. So for the alternate stripes on the chair, we're going to use RV29 and 25. So I'm going to start with RV29. And again, I'm just going to give the top and the bottom of each stripe a little dab of color. And then I'm going to fill it in with RV25. Next, I want to add some of my Sharpie white paint pen to her cheeks. So I've taken my Sharpie white paint pen and I've shaken it with the lid on before I started. And I'm just going to give each of her cheeks a little dab of color, like that. And then I wanted to darken up this chair here, so I'm going to use my Copic multi-liner in 0.5. And I'm going to just go over my chair, and I'm going to fill in this little blank section. This. And you could use a skinnier pen if you're worried about going outside the lines. This is just the one I had in my bag, so I grabbed that one. And then same for the legs. They look kind of dinky, so I'm going to go ahead and take my pen and just sturdy them up, make them a little bit bigger. You can see them a little bit better. Oops, I went off the line, so I'm going to go ahead and just make that one a little bit bigger. And that side. But it makes it look so you can see the chair legs just a little bit better. Alright, so there is our beautiful Isabelle Loves Her Ice Cream by Stampin' Bella. Didn't she turn out great? So I went and again I put my Stickles Stardust on all these ice cream cones, and I did the ruffle on the bottom of her skirt, and I forgot this flower right here in her hair. How did I miss that? That was RV25, so let me grab that real quick. I missed it. So I'm going to take my RV25, just give that a dab, and then let's fill it in with RV23. I should have done that after I did her hair, just so I wouldn't forget about it. It's such a little dinky thing. But there she is, all finished. And again, here is the finished card. And this image does come with the little sentiment here. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. Again, if you have a question, leave me a comment and I will get back to you on that. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.